Why don't I help? I'm filming. Nailed it! Nailed it! Let's go!
Never a dull moment at the
No
Bragg's
problem for
residence. Bear down. The Bears, they started this new tradition last year where they celebrate their wins the correct way.
Bottle and Sylvie, ESPN 1000, don't miss it.
I know what you mean.
It's like their own Philly.
Okay.
Okay, I think what it is.
We shouldn't be showing this. Am I crazy?
What a great sign that is. What have I told you? 17 minutes of rain would wash away 108 years of drought.
Do you see this team growing into the team that you were in 2005?
Great practice, everybody.
All I gotta say is, Greg Braggs, you are ridiculous.
Oh.
Hanging in there?
There you go. Now I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Now you can hear me. Back and better than ever. How we doing today, Jake?
Doing good. You know, I was watching that intro and I thought when you're like, the Bears celebrate their wins the correct way, we haven't seen one club dub
Nope.
this whole year, have we?
They've gone
they-
private with the club dub. I like that. That's a good decision, in my opinion. Last year it kind of got egg on its face when they didn't do well, and it's for the team only. So I have no problem with club dub. And 2018 was special, and we shared it with the fans, and they were that team was, you know, it was a thing with the fans in a way. But 2019, the club dub kind of drained itself because the team struggled. And I like that they're keeping it in-house. I wasn't sure if it was a tradition that should carry over. And obviously this team enjoys it. So, you know, they're the guys that get this done on the field. So, you know, I have no qualms by how they want to celebrate their wins, and they're 5-1. So they've been club dubbing all day long this season. We're 5-1 here at Braggs in the Stands.
Yeah.
Our debut season for the Chicago Bears, and we couldn't be more excited. And that's right. You saw before the intro, my mom flipping some flapjacks. That's our tradition every Sunday morning as we get ready for Bears football. But this week we play on Monday, so I don't know if I'm going to get my same flapjacks. I can't.
Breakfast for dinner.
Yeah, I'm going to be at work Monday morning, so I don't know. Sunday I'll get my flapjacks.
So now if you're at home, does your mom cook you dinner like all the time?
No, not really. No? We're so busy, and the goal of every night is to get our little daughter Addison Grace down to sleep, and that's becoming a struggle more and more as each day passes because she's getting more and more energy. We just changed her crib into like a bed. The crib kind of alternates, like where the railing comes down a little bit. So, you know, it's on that. Yeah, she loves it. She's up there so excited about it. She's like jumped in bed. She's like her dad. She loves snuggling in pillows and blankets. So she's up there excited about her new evolution of her crib that turns into a bed. And tomorrow we're taking her to the zoo. So we're excited for that.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, we went to the pumpkin patch. Now we're going to take her to the zoo. We got Halloween coming up. She's going to dress as a zebra. So it's exciting stuff here at the Braggs residence. So, but exciting stuff for our Chicago Bears as well, Jake. And before we get to our special guest of the night, and he'll be coming up here in just a little bit, Johnny B, our guy, introducing his infamous duck races. We're going to talk a little Chicago Bears football because even though we don't play on Sunday, we got a big game coming up on Monday. The 5-1 Bears travel to LA to face the 4-2 Rams. And, we've been hearing a lot of, from Matt Nagy. You tune into our show, we try to play clips from the Friday presser. And this week, the press conferences are a little different because obviously they don't play on Sunday. So this week, I thought we could listen to a little bit of what Chuck Pagano has to say because it's the defense that's carrying the water for this football team. What's that?
He was calling out some of the guys as the Rough Riders, some of the dogs on the defense.
And we're gonna absolutely get into that. I'm glad you caught that in his clip because that is something that stood out to me as well. And it's nice, like I said, Matt Nagy. It's almost like you hear the same stuff over and over. I saw Chubbs kind of tweeting about that in the same regard, and so I think it would be a nice little change of pace to hear from some of the other guys. And Chuck Pagano is a guy that had a lot of eyes on him to start the year because the defense was wavering, so to speak. I mean, and that's because the Bears fans set such a high bar of expectation. And so when they're not playing, impeccable football, we start pointing our fingers, which I think is a little unwarranted. And I think,
week 1 through 3, I think the run defense was something like 24th in the league or something like that. So they were getting gashed. But the last three weeks, I think they're up to 4th in the league in run defense. So they've
starting
really
to hold it down,
starting to hunker it down, and
against good opponents too.
Yeah.
So that's an upgrade, and the other teams get paid too. To imagine them to pitch shutouts each week is, not realistic. And for the most part, they've done their jobs, especially when you consider their offense that they continue to have to. That doesn't do enough for them to help, make the game easier on them. They're always walking the tightrope, so to speak, to hold the game in place because the offense always seems to be staggering. So, as I said, I pulled some Chuck Pagano clips because he spoke today to the to the media, and he had some thoughts about Kyle Fuller and those ferocious hits he's been laying down on everybody in the National Football League, and here were his thoughts.
Who knows what happens if you don't make that?
With the hits that he's putting on guys that are getting flags, how do you make certain that his aggressive edge doesn't get dulled by, being a little trigger shy that he's going to get called for those?
He won't, because he's doing everything by the letter of the law. Their textbook. When you slow him down And because I think it's impossible to officiate. You know, it's hard on them. It's hard on us. It's hard on the players. And I mean, just playing football, because he's lowering, he's getting his head out of the way. He's using his shoulder. You know, Tampa game, they look at it, they get together and they pick the flag up. We get the ball. You know, this one, it didn't work out that way. It's just how things are. We all know that the receiver feels this hit coming. So he's got himself in the target zone, but by the time the receiver catches the ball and then he braces, he lowers his helmet. So it's just a byproduct of guys playing and reacting, instincts. It's football, but he won't change.
Pat Finley.
Yeah, and we hope not, because Kyle Fuller is playing. You know, it's hard to say when you put Akeem Hicks, Khalil Mack, and Kyle Fuller all in that upper tier of, you know, this defense, who's playing the best amongst them. And Kyle Fuller definitely has a bone to pick in that argument. And that isn't a shot or slight at Khalil Mack. That's me trying to speak to how great Kyle Fuller has played this season.
Yeah. I think of all, you know, you think back to that draft where we just could have had Aaron Donald and that would have been amazing, but what an absolute gem Kyle Fuller ended up being as a consolation prize, if you will.
Yep.
If there's one thing that Phil Emery did right, it was definitely that pick.
Absolutely. I'm not sure if you were over the night I had a draft party night, and I basically ruined the party. I ruined the party as soon as the pick. Well, it wasn't when our pick was made, because it wasn't a slide at Kyle Fuller. It was the pick before us.
Yeah, we missed out,
and it was the Rams. Coincidentally enough, number 13. I'll never forget it. Or it's like you're seeing Aaron Donald right before your eyes, and you just knew that the Rams weren't going to be stupid enough to pass on him, but all the other teams did. So you're just like hoping against hope that he does, because he was can't miss. Kyle Fuller at the time, you needed a corner, but Aaron Donald was the can't miss guy. And we get Kyle Fuller, and I lost my mind. Yeah, basically ruined the party that night. And it took him a little bit to get going. And he's a guy that they didn't pick up his fifth-year option. I can remember telling Jake during his fifth-year training camp how despondent he looked at camp. Signed a jersey for me. I took a picture with him. And I remember thinking he does not want to be here at all. And then his season just turned around. It's amazing what a few plays will do for you if you start winning a few games. I'm not sure if that was the case for that season's Bears, but he certainly turned his play around. And now look at him. He's all pro cornerback. And, like Chuck Pagano said, you look at these hits and they're textbook. I mean, you're seeing that hit multiple times. They're trying to throw these crossing patterns, and Kyle's just lowering his helmet. And as Pagano says, they kind of are lowering theirs at the same time to, absorb the impact. And he's keeping his shoulder clean to the chest. You've seen the flag come out because it happens so fast that it looks dirty. And like Pagano said, it's hard to, officiate that, but to be fair to these refs, and they have been not really that great with the Bears this year, but I'm sure all fan bases can say the same for their team. They all have picked up a couple that for the Bears when it comes to that. We got a turnover too, in the last game, I believe, on a hit. They
called back on a hit. They got or on a blanket coverage or something.
It's bang stuff, really tough. But man, Kyle Fuller has really stepped up. And as I said, when we're talking about these upper echelon guys and all the talks about Khalil Mack each week, another guy that seems to go underlooked and underappreciated across the NFL is Akeem Hicks. And Louis Riddick said this week on Monday night he will have the spotlight on him. And these were Chuck Pagano's thoughts on Akeem Hicks and how special he is for this team.
I know you've had a long career and coached so many guys who have been special to you. You've had a few years now with Akeem Hicks. Where is he in that pantheon of players that you have loved coaching?
Yeah, he's right up there. You think of like Haloti, Nada, who we had in Baltimore, just a big physical athletic presence inside that just dominated people and could push the pocket and win one-on-ones and destroy and wreck a run game. He's right up there. His leadership and the way he's playing right now and his focus, and determination coming off of last year is really good. And and I know it's just going to continue to get better.
Yeah,
100%.
he's a little under the weather right now. I saw him tweet out something today that had a gif of, I think, Mr. Bean blowing his nose or something. So I'm
And
hoping
he had people scared that it was COVID.
I'm hoping that I think if it was COVID, they would have said something by now.
They already announced that it absolutely was
Okay.
not. It's been
So
reported.
hopefully though he's not getting dehydrated. He's anything like that from it, and he's refreshed, ready to rock, because he's going to be absolutely needed. I think Darrell Henderson is running really well right now, so can't lose that guy. He is definitely the anchor of this defense.
100%. Akeem Hicks, you see in a clip. I should have pulled it up for tonight's show because it just came to me now. There's a clip in the last game where he tackles the running back with the offensive lineman. He takes his offensive lineman that he's being blocked by and drives him into the running back, which then that forces the tackle on the running back. He doesn't touch the running back. He uses the 300-pound offensive lineman to tackle him with, and he uses only one arm to do that. And you see Khalil Mack doing that on the line too. It's like these are superhuman players. I mean, I've taken some pictures with Akeem Hicks. Couldn't be a nicer guy off the field, a teddy bear. But when he's on that field, ferocious, and he is massive. The biggest ass I've ever seen in my life. The biggest hands I've ever seen. He's huge. I mean, I've shook Julius Pepper's hand. I've shook, there's been some. Julius Pepper's probably the biggest hands that come to mind, and Akeem Hicks is right up there with him. So you can only imagine the way his technique, you see sometimes how he just bear claws a guy over to the side and then it's coming at the quarterback 100 miles an hour. I mean, that's what is going to be the difference here on Monday night for Jared Goff, because 2 years ago in 2018, Jared Goff couldn't get a throw off. He did not want to be on the football field for a couple of reasons. One, it was cold and it was Soldier Field. Two, he was playing this Bears defense that was playing at a level. He didn't want any of it that night. He's getting the ball out as fast as he could. They barely getting on the field because anytime he tried to drop back for a few seconds, he was getting killed. Now, 2019, they play again. Our season was somewhat on the line. The team was staggered, but guess who wasn't on the field? Akeem Hicks. This year, sorry, buddy, you don't have the luxury. Akeem Hicks is back and better than ever. You might have Eddie Goldman out, but, the Bears seem to, like you have said in the last few weeks, figured out the run game a little bit. You're certainly missing Eddie Goldman, but Akeem Hicks is there, and that is the big key. So I'm really looking forward to seeing.
Playing great too. I mean, he had a really good game last week against the Panthers, so that's really encouraging. I feel good about it.
Absolutely. I was listening to JJ Stankovitz on the Under Center podcast over there with Cam Ellis earlier today. They released a podcast and they were talking about. They don't think, as JJ said, he didn't think that this game was going to get over 20 for either team, and I happen to agree. I agree. I could see this being 17-14. I was even thinking about saying that the Bears keep them from getting in the end zone. I was thinking about maybe like 17-6 Bears. That was kind of where my mind is at with this game right now. Maybe another dominant defensive performance like the last time in 2018 on the primetime stage. And I know last year they lost to them, but this game kind of feels like this could be the 28, because I'm just thinking, who can score on the Bears? I know the Rams have a great defense too. So this is going to be a defensive juggernaut. So it's certainly going to be a game of field position. But who can score on the Bears? They have all-star, all-pro players at all three levels. Safety, corner, linebacker, and D-line. You got Kyle Fuller and Jalen Smith playing at all-pro level, like our guy in the chat, Ron Rope is saying. Both quarterbacks are great. I mean, Jalen Johnson might not be great yet. He hasn't reached that great category. Man, he is playing great right now. You got
He's playing extremely well, and I know that he's gotten picked on a little bit here and there, but he has it's like being a goldfish. His memory is nothing, so he gets burned on something, he comes out and makes a play. So,
and they're going to keep going at him because Fuller is, Fuller's playing as good as he is.
Eddie's not even getting any throws in his direction.
Yep.
So
Eddie talks about it after every game. He's desperate for a few tutties because they keep taking them from him.
I think Buster might be a little banged up right now. I hope that he can go because I think Sherrick is also banged up, who is
Mhm.
his primary backup. So that could be a little iffy. So I hope that he can go. I know his ankle is pretty banged up.
That's yeah, absolutely. And like I said, and then Roquan Smith, another guy playing at a big time level. And
You gotta
it
give
just
props to Danny too, Trevathan. I mean,
Trevathan turned it
maybe he
around.
wasn't in football shape at the beginning of the season, and now he's starting to
Yeah.
get there. But he's playing really well too.
That was something I suggested that, it's always, Mr. Brightside for Greg, but it's like, hey, they didn't have a natural off season, and he's a guy that, they dialed back in this whatever training camp they had for 3 weeks at Hallis Hall or however long it was. So yeah, he's definitely a guy that you got to shake the cobwebs off. So you're happy to see that he's stood up. And it's just like I said, then you got the D-line obviously brings what they have. So it's just, there are no holes, and it's going to be a battle of field position. I feel like whoever gets the first pick 6 wins. That's going to be exciting stuff. Yeah, I got my guy Ron Rupp now. He gave me these gloves for work, these heavy duty gloves. He's in the chat right now. He said he's finally starting to feel better. He's been in and out of the hospital here lately. So we're happy to hear you're doing better. And Ron, those gloves you gave me, I was working on a block foundation when you gave me them, and we're actually at the house right now. And now it's a big old house, all these months later, and the gloves are still going strong. So I appreciate you, Ron. So back over to Chuck Pagano, and as you mentioned, he was talking about some Rough Riders, and that definitely stood out to me for a couple reasons. One, that's a great nickname. Two, great song, DMX, my guy. So I had to pull this clip because he was talking about Mario Edwards as my daughter charges down the stairs to get inside the Brags in the Stand show. And Mario Edwards has been a big surprise. The Bears have had a few surprises across that defensive line. Barcavius Mingo, a veteran, has come in and definitely made some plays. And Mario Edwards, another surprise for this team. And these were Chuck Pagano's thoughts on him.
Hey, Chuck, I'm wondering if Mario Edwards was a guy that you had noticed at some point throughout his career, and then what has he brought to your defensive line?
Yeah, again, we talked about Rough Riders. He's a Rough Rider. Now this guy is he's a hard charger. He's athletic. He's twitchy. He's not the biggest guy, obviously, in the room, but he will go in there and he will do the dirty work for you. He will fight and he will scrap. But then when it comes to third down, he's been really productive affecting the quarterback. He gives you really, really meaningful snaps in there. He's got the right mindset. He's definitely a monster of the midway, type guy. So we're lucky to have him.
Couple more for Coach.
Yeah, the Bears always seem to find this D lineman that's just ready to produce. Nick Williams. At one time, it was RRH.
Yep,
he's still kicking, doing well.
Well, Nichols had a big week.
Well, Nichols, it's like these guys just kind of emerge in the system. And
when you're playing next to Khalil Mack and Akeem Hicks, and now Robert Quinn, it certainly doesn't hurt. And so even some of the linebackers Eaton last year, now on different teams, they get contracts. So you see that when you're playing next to guys, those kind of guys are going to get one-on-one opportunities against lesser talent, so to speak, because you're always going to try to slide your protection to the big dogs. Sure. So Mario Edwards, Barcavius Mingo, these guys are taking advantage of these situations and not giving the quarterback for the other team any break. You've seen it now here a couple weeks in a row with Teddy Bridgewater and Tom Brady. I mean, these guys are, by the fourth quarter, their heads spinning. So, it's really fun to watch. And, the Bears, like I said, this Bears defense, I've got them on my fantasy team. I drafted them really early. I forget what round it was, but I remember everybody made fun of me about it. But
because you took a defense really early.
I was like one of those. I hate not having the defense I want. And last year somebody else got them, and I hated it. And I was like, I'm not having that this year. I wanted them on my team, and they haven't really been that great points wise. Not to get into fantasy because I know we talk about that later. But truly, I do believe for this reason that I've held on to them because they're going to start going off if the offense can just play a little better.
Well, dude, they had 2 pick 6 taken away from him.
Yeah.
So far. So that would have been 2 games last week included.
And the kick return game is always close.
Would have been totally different score-wise of what you're talking about.
Absolutely. But, yeah. So I just feel like the defense and special teams, but the defense in particular, is ready to break out.
The defense knows that they're ready to win a Super Bowl. They know it. They absolutely are certain of it. And they know this team can go really, really far. And this whole team is extremely confident. And I think it helps having a guy like Foles, regardless if he's not completely flashing yet on the screen and the offense isn't humming, that he is absolutely confident in everything that he can do. He's a great leader. And I think it just echoes, through every side of the ball with this team. So these guys are flying high. They're ready to rock. And they're thinking that they can win everything this year.
And it's time for me to fly. Time for me to fly. No, I'm sorry. We can't play it. That's my REO Speedwagon for tonight. I can't pull the audio because then YouTube will be putting the kibosh on our old Brags in the Stands. But, in order for this team to get to that Super Bowl level that the defense knows they're ready for, this offense needs to get going. And like I said, we didn't go into the Matt Nagy presser this week, but we did hear from Bill Lazor, and I tried my best to find a clip to, spur a little conversation here on Brags in the Stands. But to be honest, 10 minutes of listening to Bill Lazor was like being on an acid trip. At one point, JJ Stankovitz asked him about offensive line play, and he started talking about the quarterback for like 3.5 minutes. And it was one of the wildest answers I've ever heard. I should have just pulled it just for the craziness of the answer. And I was joking with JJ about it in DMs because it was out there. But Bill Lazor did have some collected thoughts about the run game and where that's headed. And I just feel like that, along with the offensive line, is the key to unlocking whatever this 5-1 Bears team is right now to becoming a serious contender. So here were the offensive coordinator's thoughts on the run game.
Any kind of progress did you feel?
I did feel progress. You were breaking up a little bit on us, Mark, but I got enough of the question. I did feel progress. There are some games, and I can't tell you why. There are quite a few games where the run game gains momentum as it goes. I think a lot of it probably has to do with, when you have professional NFL offensive linemen and backs, when they come to the sideline and they're able to talk through with their coaches, hey, here's how they're playing us, here's how they're playing these blocks, and just make just the minor adjustments that they make series to series. Again, at halftime, you're able to stop and put the pictures on a bit, all the things you do at halftime, but between series, they're able to kind of work those adjustments out. I think guys get a feel for the particular people that they're playing against and blocking them. I think that happens too. So I do think, I know we've talked about it before, our poise and communication on the sideline is good. So I'll in an optimistic way, give credit to the job that we were doing, working together to get it fixed. And sometimes you gain momentum as you go. You feel, you feel better. I think, we definitely felt some spurts there where we gained momentum. And so that probably had to do with it, but will that momentum carry over? Big picture, yes, but we'll be lining up against a whole new group of guys this week. So we're going to have to kind of start and do it again.
So as I said, Bill Lazor, listening to Bill Lazor is something else because, he
Trestman
is a little Trestman-esque, but like Trestman on acid, because where he goes sometimes on these tangents. But, you heard some of his thoughts I thought were interesting about, the communication. If these guys are so well at communicating, then why aren't we seeing this on the field? Where is the disconnect? Because, you just see clearly that they can't block it up. Run game for sure. And then the pass game, it's not long enough. I'm no tape guru, but all I know is every time Nick Foles completes a pass downfield, he's getting hit as he's throwing every time. And that's a problem. When is he ever going to get a clean throw where he can just, chuck it 60 yards deep to Darnell Mooney? That's what I'd like to see on Monday night. And, so it's just about trying to figure out what this run game can do best, because the first 3 weeks, that power stuff seemed to be working, but that's under center, and that's not typically Nick Foles' style. So how can they figure out the runs they can do successfully, in the RPO shotgun style? You saw early on them trying to stretch the edges, and it seemed to be working for a minute, but you gotta you got to get north and south at some point. You can only do that east-west crap for so long, and I think you see how Bears fans get frustrated. That stuff can work, stretching the edges, but, it's just about play calling, and smarter minds than me are the ones that know how to do this stuff, but you see it work with the San Francisco 49ers, for instance, the way they stretch the edges with their wide receivers. They run the jet sweeps that Bears fans can't stand all the time. They run them successfully, though. They also run a lot of power with their run game, too. So,
They pull
it's
their
hard.
guards, too. I mean, that's something that I haven't seen a lot. A lot of pitches and things like that, pulling your guards, things like that they were doing in 2018, not so much in 2019.
Well, Jordan Howard was announced available for a trade from the Miami Dolphins. He's been on the practice squad the last couple of weeks, and I know the Bears picked up Lamar Miller, and we haven't seen him yet getting acclimated with the offense, I'm assuming. But Jordan Howard, is that even something you'd consider at all?
7th round conditional, maybe.
I mean, if he got cut, is he somebody you'd consider picking up, even though they picked up Lamar Miller?
Sure, yeah, but I mean, losing a guy like Tariq, that's what I feel like this offense is really missing, is somebody that has that speed to him and that elusiveness. So Montgomery is like Jordan. He has better feet than Jordan. He has better catching ability than Jordan. I don't know what Jordan would bring to the table other than another veteran back, but I don't know.
He certainly would help the locker room too.
I tell you what, running back is definitely something the Bears are really going to have to think about next year, because I love David Montgomery. Don't get me wrong, but I think the Bears could really use an additional back, additional to Tariq as well, but somebody that could, really complement him really, really nicely. Like you see how the Browns are doing their stuff with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Granted, both those guys are extremely stellar running backs, but it works with two guys that have similar skill sets, probably similar body types. And if you can pound the route, this team would be so successful if they could run the football. And that's something that they got to get down. And the other thing is, I would have already signed Quentin Spain by now. I wouldn't even have waited. I would have been on the phone with him, getting him in here, because we do not have professional quality left guard right now on this team. And
there's another guard that just became available for trade along with a wide receiver from another team. I can't remember the name, but there are starting to be some of those players available. So it'd be interesting to see if they can, because you're right. Rashad Coward, nice story, went to the defensive line to the offensive line, but not up to snuff. Alex Barr's obviously not ready because they pulled him for Coward. So it'll be interesting. We got our guy Johnny B getting ready to come on here in just a second. I got one more clip to play. There's our guy Johnny B. We were tailgating last year before the Chiefs took care of business against us. And we got one more clip from Chuck Pagano talking about looking at these Rams that we're playing here on Monday night and kind of what he's expecting to see from them offensively. And, these were his thoughts.
Hey, Chuck, looking at the Rams, they've really ramped up how much motion they're using before the snap and really at the snap. What kind of challenge does that provide for you guys on the defense?
Yeah, I think if you allow it, again, I think it all starts with me, and I've got to do a great job of putting these guys in position to where they can just get their cleats in the ground, get lined up, get their eyes right, and kind of keep this, this offense corralled, if you will. Good edges up front, good edges in the back end, because it can get you sideways. It can get you cross-eyed. It's boom, 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 and they do as good a job as I've ever seen anybody. Sean, I mean, just a phenomenal job, because it's precise, it's precision, and they will tempo you and they will run to the ball, and that's 10 going this way and 17 coming back and 17 going this way, and then the ball snapped right behind the quarterback, and then there's a tight end coming back. And so from a run fit standpoint, it challenges you, because those change. So whoever's in the box, whether you got 7 in the box, you got 8 in the box, it doesn't matter. All those guys got to be in concert and singing out the same hymnal and flowing right. Otherwise, because if one guy sees it this way and the other one goes this way, you've got a gaping hole in the middle of your defense. And then they don't hand it off and they pull it and it's play action pass. And then you got routes running vertically up the field all over the place, and then trying to match those up. So it's going to be a huge challenge.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely going to be a big challenge. You got Robert Woods out there. You got a couple tight ends, Tyler Higbee, Everett that can make plays. You know,
Woods has the groin. I'm hoping, and he sat today, and I'm just for some reason, please
just take a week off. You know,
okay. You need to get that groin right.
The Bears have had that bear luck, you know, having a lot of different star players like that missing. So, you know, it'll be interesting.
Next week, I mean, I don't want to put the cart before the horse here, but next week the Saints are having some COVID issues. Emmanuel Sanders, excuse me, is already on the COVID list. So I don't know if he's going to even play next week if he's on the COVID list, because I think it's like a 2-week thing sometimes.
And Michael Thomas
has a hammy. He got
isn't he at ends with the team too? Isn't that what it's
they had a big he threw some punches and had some issue with Sean Payton. Then he gets back to practice, immediately pulls a hamstring. Not on top of the injury that he had that has kept him out. I think it's a high ankle sprain. So if for some reason that we weren't playing against Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders, I would be very, very happy. But
interesting.
This week it's the Rams.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and we're excited for it. Monday night, you know, we got to go to work one more time before we can see the Bears play. Yeah, we get to sit back and relax on Sunday, watch a whole full slate of games on Sunday. I know Jake's probably really excited for that. And we get to, yeah, you know, I mean, we enjoy our post-game coverage. We enjoy watching the games and doing our post-game coverage with you guys here at Braggs in the Stands, but it'll be nice to sit back, relax, know that we are 5-1 and watch the rest of the NFL sweat while we piss and moan about our fantasy football teams. And Antonio Brown just picked up by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, for those of you that are interested in those kind of acquirements. But yeah, so we'll see what happens Monday with the Bears and Rams. Maybe we'll pop on for a live pregame or something, or a postgame. We'll talk about that here as we go forward. But we have a special guest tonight, and someone that is a familiar face here on Braggs in the Stands, and a weekly guest contributor, and our gambling extraordinaire, Johnny B, a true fan in the stands. He joins us now.
What's
Johnny
up,
B?
What's up?
You know him from Johnny B for 3, but you are also our guest of honor tonight because, as I said, you know, you are a true fan in the stands, and that's what this show is all about. You don't just, you know, do the picks for the gambling. You don't just give the insight. You've got amazing shots from.
I go middle of the field, call timeout with Kelsey. 10-yard line, 15-yard line.
Roll it, roll it.
That's an exclusive shot from our guy Johnny B in the AFC Championship against the Tennessee Titans.
Shout out to the section 127. Those are my seats. Right now, they're actually covered by a Ford banner. My seat does not exist this year. It's heartbreaking, but those memories are great. AFC Championship at Arrowhead Stadium.
Do you get any little squale from the Ford people since they're covering up your seat with their advertisement?
Yeah, right.
I don't think so, because I'm a Ram guy, so there's kind of at odds with the whole thing. I mean, I got some friends that have Ford F-150s and Raptors and stuff, and they're all good trucks. These trucks they're making these days, you know, whether it's a Ford or a Ram or a Chevy, they're all pretty tricked out. So, you know, it is what it is. I wish it was Ram. My Ram is red. I call it Big Red. So that is actually a true fact. And it does have flames on it and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
I love it. I love it. And you made your trip from the AFC Championship, and you go to all the games. You went to like every game home and road, and you finished it with that Super Bowl. I always love to pull this picture up because it kind of embodies exactly what you are, Johnny B. You kind of look like a superhero there. You almost brought it home.
Superhero.
Yes, well, you almost brought it home for them with your, aura and just your presence and your
aura.
Your infectiousness of positivity and spirit, and that's why you are an integral part of Brags in the Stands. And I know you have a bunch of huge fans here on the show, and rightfully so, because you bring so much to the table. Like I said, it's not just gambling thoughts, and of course, we had to make you the guest of honor tonight, because we are debuting your infamous duck races that you are already well known for in the Twitter sphere and the YouTube sphere. You do these duck races for the Chiefs, your beloved Chiefs, and now you're bringing it into the Chicago Bears realm on Bears Twitter. I know everyone's going to be really excited for that. And today we get to finally debut.
Line up. Ducks line up.
Line up.
And that's our clip we play every time we are getting ready to talk some ducks and duck racing. And I'm going to let you take it away here and kind of explain what's going down. And then we will unroll it officially, the first ever duck race on Brags in the Stands.
Well, it's funny. The Ducks line, which has become very famous throughout the entire duck race franchise, as I'm going to call it now, because of this expansion, is a lot of people told me to change it and things like that. But I don't know. I always liked the way it rolled off my tongue when I said it. And it's just obviously to the point. And I stuck with it. I didn't take their advice on this one. I'm always open to suggestions. And then it just became like, I started as I got more popular with the races, people would just, put on the Twitter line or DM me, or even people that I know that text me directly would just say Ducks line up. Like, they're like, where's the race? And they know it's coming. And, a lot of times I tell everybody what time it's going to be out there, and it's just Ducks line up. So what we're going to do here is, in conjunction with the show, we're going to do a Chicago Bears Legends race. You'll see the Ducks, if you haven't already, on the little preview video that we put out, that who are going to be racing. And we're going to give away, in conjunction with this debut of Chicago Bears Legends Duck Race, this nice Jumpman print. I have 2 of them from my boy Chris Chansey. He does some Mahomes stuff with me as well, and he's been a partner of duck races in the past for me. So I'm going to give away 2 of those. They're big, they're huge, they're beautiful. And what you're going to do is, if you're watching this now, and you can DM me tomorrow or tonight and tell me that you were watching the live stream of the show, and I'll put you in for an extra drawing. But the way you're going to enter is, tomorrow I'll post the race, and we'll obviously have Brags in the Stands as well. Retweet it. You're going to follow me. You're going to follow Brags in the Stands. You're going to follow the artist Chris. Retweet the race. You got a week to enter, and we'll announce the 2 winners next week. And if you're on the show right now and you're watching live, you can DM me, and I'll put you in for an extra chance in the drawing. Just old school. I'm going to put the names in a hat. That's what I do for Chiefs duck races. I'm going to pull the names. Winners, I'll ship them out directly. That's it.
Well, we appreciate all your hard work, and we appreciate Chris and the contribution for the giveaway.
Quick about Chris real quick. I don't want to say I forgot. He's actually working on a mural right now. I believe it might be of that play that you just showed from the run from the AFC Championship. It's on the side of a barn or a house or something. It's like 20 by 60.
Really?
Wow.
And it's not done yet, but I'll have to show you guys when it's done. It looks like
100%. And we'll have to bring Chris on sometime. We appreciate his contribution, and I know you guys are real cool. So we hope we can continue this. And, I always have some cool stuff too. I want to add to the giveaways. I'm always down to give away cool stuff to the fans here at Brags in the Stands. And I appreciate you chipping in the Jordan picture, as you just showed. As you said, you have 2 of them. So, make sure, as you just said.
This is a piece of art. I do not want to understate the quality of this piece. It is a piece of artwork. If you are a Chicago sports fan or a basketball fan, and you like Jordan, this is a must-have. And anyone that doesn't win, you can go over to Chris and you can buy a print. They come in different sizes. And I got to say, it's top-level artwork.
That's amazing. And, like I said, it's I forget what I was going to say, but so we've got this. I forget what I was going to say. I was just on the tip of my tongue.
Add something. You had something to add to the prizes or something?
Yeah. No, yeah. I was going to say, going forward, I absolutely want to start adding giveaways to the pot. And so we do have the start of the race I know we showed the promo last week, but I want to set it up because, these races sometimes can be long. When the water's low, sometimes the ducks take a minute to get through the track and everything else. So I don't ever want you to put a time limit on your races, but unfortunately the way these videos work, on our StreamYard app that we use for these shows, they can only be so long. So the race is cut into two, where the beginning, introduction, and then the race itself. So I'm going to play the intro again that we played last week, that just in case for our viewers that miss it, and this will set it all up, and then we will debut our first
racing. And
that's right. Get the lineup and everything else. So here is the official rollout.
Johnny B-side here, Bear Down edition of Duck Races. I want to give a shout out to Greg and Jake from Brags in the Stands. Of course, I'm Johnny B in my segment on the show, Johnny B for 3, and we're bringing you a Chicago Bears duck race. Want to give a shout out to Gale Sayers, the Kansas Comet. He was already a part of this race. Not happy to hear the news. One of my favorite players to watch old highlights of, so I want to give a shout out to him here on our first race. Let's take a look at the ducks. You got the coach, Ditka. You got McMahon, Hester, Walter Payton, Butkus, Urlacher, and of course, Greg's boy, Tommy Waddle. Ducks line up. Ducks line up. I got the Kansas Comet in my hand. Ducks line up. First one under the flag, for those of you who don't know, is the victory. First one under the flag. This is our first race here, a monumentous event. It's Chicago Bears duck race, and it's Bear Town, and they're off. And it's Urlacher in the lead, followed by the Kansas Comet.
All right, there it is. That was the preview, and now here is the race.
Ready,
the first
I've never seen
official Brags the first official Brags in the Stands race. Let's find out who wins once and for all.
And it's Urlacher in the lead, followed by the Kansas Comet. It's 1-2 out of the gate as they snake around the grassy area. It's number 54 with the lead, and who's coming? It's Pure Sweetness. And Walter Payton is in second. We got the 54 duck, Big Brian is in the lead. And here comes the golden boy, Tommy Waddle, as they come to the world-famous horseshoe here at duck races. It's Urlacher coming around the stick, and we got Waddle, and now we got a bunch of ducks. And here comes Ditka. He's got his shades on. He's got his aviators. Who's it going to be as they come to the split? You go around the outside or short side. It looks like number 54 going short side, and Hester and Sweetness going around the outside. It's Hester going around Dead Duck's curve. And we got a couple guys in the jungle. And it's Walter Payton, number 34 as they come to the flag. And it's Walter Payton coming to the flag. If you can keep your sugar, you can keep your stevia. I'm taking Sweetness all day. Woo! Bear down.
That's a great call.
Sweetness with the victory. Walter
Very
Payton,
fitting.
the greatest of all time to put on a Bears uniform. That's right. The greatest, I know my guy Devin.
What a call.
Met Walter Payton a couple times actually, and he's one of the nicest guys I ever met. I talk a little bit about it in the next race briefly that we'll do, not this race, the following race, but one of the nicest guys I ever met in my life, pure class act, and just a beast. Yeah, I have a pretty strong handshake, and let's just say pretty big hands too. He almost broke my hand when he shook my hand, but what a beast and what a great guy.
Yeah, Walter Payton, man. That's a fitting way to start our Brags in the Stands duck races. And again, if you want a chance to win the giveaways, and that's plural, giveaways are 2. So we have 2 amazing giveaways. And if you want a chance to win them, Johnny B is going to post how you can win tomorrow on his Twitter account. We'll be retweeting it from the Brags in the Stands official account, and then also from my account as well, if you want to figure out the rules. And we had a few people in the chat predict. Our guy Chris Sandlin over there from the Tape Never Lies Network, he was very happy to see his prediction come in. And yeah, Chubbs, you missed out on the debut of the duck race. I hope you got to see it because you are late to the party, Chubbs. We've been breaking down the Bears, and now we brought on our guest of honor, Chubbs, Johnny B. Normally he is our Johnny B for 3 segment, and we are going to get to that here in a second. But we wanted to put a spotlight on these duck races because they are going to become a staple of this show. You might think it's silly right now, but in a year, you're going to be in love with this because as it goes. Johnny B's little lines as he calls these races are going to get better and better. We're going to come up with more fun ideas and more fun giveaways.
Yeah,
and
giveaways. We're going to do some fan interaction where maybe we'll add some ducks. I like Mongo. Obviously, it's a great name for a duck race. I like Richard Dent, Dan Hampton. There's a lot you could add. You could even add if somebody balls out, like in this Rams game on Monday night. Maybe we'll throw somebody in that balled out. There's a lot of different things we can do. I got a lot of different ideas that I do with the Chiefs. I haven't even started expanding it too much. I might do some other stuff with other NFL franchises as well. So I got a lot of ideas. It's going to be fresh. It's going to be cool. I try to throw in some pop culture, some movie lines, stuff like that. I think, what was it, Greg, that you wanted to do a Wedding Crashers race?
Yeah, Wedding Crashers race, so we can do a bunch of quotables. But this is what it's all about right here. And normally in the summertime, this one's going to be fun because right now Johnny's doing his best. And, whenever it rains, he goes out there and gets some races in. But the water's low right now. We're getting to the fall season, so this is what we're working with. But you gotta, when we get to the summer of next year, by the time we get to them, these duck races are going to be humming, and these waters flow like the waters of Capistrano, and we're going to be able to have amazing races. And this is just the prelude to the greatness. And there's the intensity that Johnny B brings every time he does these, and I'm just looking forward to more. And so this is a fun start. I wanted it to be spotlighted. Normally we bring on a special guest to talk Bears, but we got a whole slate of football games on Sunday to get to. So I figured that's what we'd talk about here tonight, and then we'd figure out what we're going to do for Monday. And of course, we got to spotlight the duck races because you've taken the world by storm during this pandemic. 2020 has been such a miserable year, and you found a way to find some positivity and some fun vibes. You see, the dog face guy riding on a skateboard, drinking some cranberry juice, and, just the fun stuff, try to, smile a little bit. And what you bring to these duck races captures something that people can appreciate, especially in a year like this year. So we appreciate you bringing it here to Brags in the Stands.
Well, those of you who don't know me, I'm always a glass half full type of guy. I've obviously, like anybody in their lives, I've been through and seen some stuff. So I try to take every day and just, pump it up, try to make something good. You take a coal, you make a diamond if you crush it hard enough. A battery runs off a negative and a positive charge, things like that. So I'm going to bring the energy every day. I feel like a locomotive. You just keep throwing that coal on the fire. Just keep throwing that coal on the fire. Heat it up and let's go, baby.
I love it. I love it. And that is why, right there, ladies and gentlemen, is why Johnny B is a weekly staple to Brags in the Stands, is that energy you saw right there. Chubbs82, who's late to the party, wanted to know if Dicka won. He missed it. No, Dicka did not win. Sweetness 34 came in under the wire, if you saw there on the muted version of the duck race. And so we look forward to going. And you know what I think we should do? Because I like how you do it, to give it away and give everybody an opportunity to win, on Twitter through retweets of and following, the different various accounts. I think that's a nice way of keeping everyone involved to win. But I think for the people that are live in the chat as we go forward, because I remember, Johnny, when we were all watching one of your races live, hanging out, me, Adam, Eric, and all of us just watching you do one in person, we all threw down money right before the race went. And it was, at that time, there were no sports going on, Jake. So it was like, it was so exciting to have a little competition, something to root for.
Yeah.
And somebody came away with some big money that day.
Yeah, it was like zero sports when we did that.
Yeah, so I say, friendly wager here. I'm not sure if it's legal or to do this online, but if we should start putting down, I'll put $5 down on a duck next
all
week.
we got to do is say Monopoly money.
That's what Monopoly money.
It's totally legal.
I think, along with your retweets, if people want to go in on me, $5 a duck, and I'll pick a name. If we can get 10 people to pick a name, that'd be a little fun side bet to do with your duck race.
We only have 8 ducks right now, so we can't really do.
Oh, okay, 8. I'm sorry, I got the number wrong. I'm always thinking 10s because of the fantasy league. So That being said, Johnny B, you are our weekly segment of Johnny B for 3. So I figure we can get to that right here, right now, because we've debuted the duck race, we've talked some Bears, and now the people at home want to make some money from their couch this Sunday. And you have been so great at doing that. And we've got no Bears this Sunday, so Bears fans need to know what to watch for and how to make that money. So why don't you go ahead and let them know?
All right. Well, first of all, last week with the NFL, Vegas crushed everybody. There was a lot of weird games, like the Ravens were killing their team. That was one of my picks on a tease. And then they just stopped playing, and Lamar Jackson just kind of did weird things like this in the past where they're winning, and then he's like joking on the side, but it's kind of weird where he's not focused. And then they probably should have lost that game, but obviously they covered. So right now on the show, we're 9-9 on the picks, which is not fantastic. I did take the Dolphins alone after the Ravens choked last week, and I made some money back like that. And obviously the Chiefs on Monday night was just a pure stone cold killer. We are 7-1 on the game day picks, though, so that's fantastic. Overall, 16-10. It's going to get better than that. Weird season, still trying to spread our way through. So let's get into the picks. Johnny B for 3 for this week. What are we at? Week 7? Week 7. Number 1, winners win, but sometimes you need a little bit of extra points. I'm going to do a tease between the first place AFC West Chiefs -4 going into Denver, who we've owned, and I take the Chiefs -4, and then the Bucks +3.5. Tom Brady, it got hot after the Bears destroyed him. The defense played real good for the Bucks, so I'm going to take that, and I really like that. On -118, you can't beat that. Winner's going to win. Number 2 pick, Chargers, probably the best one-win team in football. You know, Herbert has been playing the rookie quarterback from Oregon for the Chargers, and he played Mahomes and all these other great quarterbacks, Tom Brady. So he finally gets the chance to play a non-MVP or an all-star quarterback. And I think with that Chargers defense and Joey Bosa, I think the Chargers at -6.5 are going to be an easy win this Sunday. Book it. Bank it. Number 3. Oh, man, Chicago. This line has been jumping around. A lot of people at first were taking the Rams, so then they messed up, put the line down, and it's kind of been going back and forth. I'm going to take the Bears plus the 6.5 based on the defense alone, which I know you guys talked about. You might want to wait on this one. You might be able to get it at +7. I don't know. I think it's going to be a close game like Greg and Jake said. I'm going to say 17-13 Bears, an outright win, but I'm going to take the points for a little bit of endurance on that. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, Johnny B out on those 3 picks.
That's exactly my score prediction as well.
Good man.
All right.
I will give that game day pick. I was kind of toying around with making the Bears be my game day pick, but since it's a Monday night game, I'm going to make that my number 3 pick, and then I'll give another pick out Sunday morning, as I always do for a game day pick, and we'll tweet it out on Twitter and all that.
All right.
Nice.
Sounds good. Because I was thinking about that too, since this is a Bears-centric show, and you are so good with this stuff. And last week when a few very smart individuals cashed in on the Cole Kmet, a prop bet of plus 2,200 for any score in the game or plus 10,000 for first score. That's some money you can make for, even $10 will make you some money on those bets. So I was thinking, and this is just a suggestion, thinking out loud, I was thinking that maybe each week, I know this week you highlighted the Bears game as one of your 3 picks, but maybe each week we should at least skim over the line for the Bears game and maybe a couple prop bets from the Bears game that have your interest, since the majority of the people watching are Bears fans, and maybe they would like to have a few bets to have in the game that they're, definitely going to be watching. Certainly for me as a fan, if I ever finally get into actually placing a few bets on the bets that you make suggestions to, because
Greg, you're dialed into the Bears, so you should be able to nail some of these
cool stuff. What you can do with
That's
the
what
Bears.
I'm saying.
Yeah, what you guys talked about earlier in the show is the, obviously Akeem Hicks is getting going here. I don't know. I felt like the first game of the season, like he didn't even really play that much until like the second half. It was weird. I kept watching the game wondering, where's Akeem Hicks the first game of the season? And he got in there, and then they started to make plays. So as this Bears rush defense gets better and better, like a prop bet that you could do, which is kind of an indirect prop bet, is to bet whatever the other team's starting running back is. They always give the running backs yards over or under to take that under. That might
exactly.
I always bet several prop bets a week. They're a lot of fun, to do it. You were mentioning the one for the tight end for the Bears, which paid huge. I did Christian Kirk on Monday Night Football to score the first touchdown. I believe it was 14-1. I mean, I only had a tenner on it, but it was 14-1. I mean, that was a nice little $100.
Then he went off after that.
What's $10? I waste $10 on crap all the time. And, the only bet I've made in 2020 was a prop bet on Patrick Mahomes scoring the first touchdown of the Super Bowl. And he did, and it paid.
Don't pitch it.
$200.
Don't pitch it. Yes.
So, it was a beautiful moment. And I want to find those little things. And so, I want to start looking into. So I think each week, me or you, Johnny, should find a couple prop bets and we'll go over the line each week and, get us.
You get one together. I'll get one together on whoever the Bears are playing, and then we'll compare them.
Because I don't even know where to look for this shit. So I'm going to have to keep dialing in. I got to lock into this.
What you do is just download one of the apps for betting. You don't have to set up an account even. Just download the app, and then you can click on it and see it. So like say it's the Bears Rams. You click on the game, and then at the top there's like little different things you can click on, and it'll say individual prop bets or game prop bets. And then you can find out what they are, what they're paying. Like I said, every sports book, sometimes the odds are a little bit different and they move around a little bit. So
because I've been
because
I shared.
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple that I use, and sometimes I go live. I haven't been going live just because of the virus situation. But yeah, I use right now DraftKings is my number one. It's always been good to me.
Mm-hmm.
They've given me a lot of free bets as well with the amount of bets I'm putting in. And the cash in and cash out is super simple.
Yeah, because listen to this, Jake. I shared this with Johnny earlier, and I don't know if you caught this on Twitter, but this guy put $100 down last night on a parlay of a few different prop bets that strung together. $100 would win him $46,000. And the 5-way parlay was Sterling Shepard scores anytime in the game, Boston Scott scores anytime in the game, Carson Wentz throws for over 247.5 passing yards, Philadelphia Eagles on the money line, which I still have no idea what that means, and Carson Wentz first touchdown scorer. And he hit on all 5, Boston Scott being the final thing he hit on the final play of the game for the Eagles to win it. And he claimed it was his last $100 to his name on Twitter. That makes the story even crazier. He posted a pretty cool video on his porch. So he seems like a genuine dude and made $46,000 off stringing together those 5 parlays. So I'm seeing this stuff, and I'm like, how do I get in on this?
Yeah, well, that's obviously several lightning strikes in a bottle there. And the first one is obviously Carson Wentz scoring the first touchdown. I mean, if they lose
That's a big one.
the opening kickoff or the coin toss and the other team goes down and scores a touchdown, that bet is over immediately. It has
to be once he hit on that,
not first Eagles touchdown. So, and then obviously you have a quarterback run it in who's obviously his mobility is moderate, mediocre. That's
so he had to feel like he had to feel like he had a great shot once Wentz got the first touchdown because the other bets weren't, the other 4 weren't as crazy of an idea. And then Boston Scott is the only one he didn't have by the end of it. He had the touchdown scored. And then
Sterling Sharp too was the second to last touchdown score.
Okay. And Boston Scott's touchdown was a dime ball just over the hands. And Boston Scott's not a big running back. So for him to come down
that's
with
right
that
after they got that face mask penalty that sent them back to the 18-yard line, and then he hits that dime to Boston.
And Evan Ingram dropping the game-winning pass before that. Because if he catches that pass, they're going to run the clock out taking the knee. So that's a lot of stuff that had to happen for that bet. I'm happy with him. I never heard anybody say it was my last $100 though. Like I heard people say it's my last $10. So
Right.
I'm sure he was low on the funds, but last 100, I don't know. Maybe.
Right.
That's fair.
Well, I watched a documentary over the weekend. It was on HBO, and it was called Wild Card: The Downfall of a Radio Loudmouth, and it was the story about HBO or this guy named Chris Carton. I'm reading it to make sure I have it correctly, but he was on the Boomer and Chris show in the morning out in New York. And you got to see this movie, John.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah, it's a documentary that I don't know. It just came out, but this guy, he's in jail or just got out of jail a few months ago. But he was really good at blackjack, and he bet Boomer Esiason on the air that he could double his money. He guaranteed it. He was so good at blackjack that he could go to the casino and double his money. So Boomer Esiason gave him $10,000. He went to the casino and he got him $80,000 that night. And they did it all on the air. And this documentary is crazy, not to get off track here, but we're talking gambling and sports. And it just blew my mind watching this. And then he started this Chris guy. He ended up really getting in deep with people because he had millionaires wiring him money to go win them money, and his life kind of spiraled out of control from that point. Highly recommend this documentary for those of you that are out there that are interested. So
documentaries.
The problem is with these guys, there's a lot of geniuses out there. You know, I usually go to Vegas every 3 months or so and do my poker thing and some other stuff. And I got guys that play blackjack, guys that are professional, you know, sports handicappers that do all the sports. You know, football's kind of my thing. And, you know, if you can learn to push away, you know, and take the small gains, there's money to be had there. Like I had a friend one time, and I'm pretty good at blackjack. I won't call myself a professional or an expert. So we had some ladies with us, whatever, and he wants to go play blackjack. They don't want to do that. So they go to the lounge, and he goes, well, what do you want to do? Let's go to that $10 table. And I'm like, we ain't going to the $10 table, bro. I go, how much do you want to lose today? He goes, well, I don't want to lose. I want to win. I said, how much you want to lose? He said, 400. I said, all right, we're going to go to the $25 table alone, $400. Bam, boom, ba boom. We go through shoe and a half. We're up 3,500. You know, the shoe ends. I push the chips in. He says, what are you doing? We're going to play more. I said, no, we're done. We got the girls waiting at the bar. I said, you're done. The money came back. I took 500. I gave him the 3,000 and we left. And
wow. Yeah, I've never been to Vegas. I look forward to doing it. My buddy's having a bachelor party there next year, so I think there's a good chance that'll be my first time going if we ever get out of this pandemic nightmare. But you know, it's gonna be interesting when I do go out there because I've never played any of this stuff, so I'd love to experience it and learn a little bit before I do get out there. So you'll have to teach me a little bit. Maybe I'll come by on Sunday before the games. You can show me how to play. But yes, Brandon. You did miss the race, but you did not miss the giveaway, Brandon. You are lucky. Johnny B is going to announce tomorrow. You still have an opportunity to get – he has 2 of these to give away. Sorry about that, Jake. We have 2 of these to give away, and he's going to put them on Twitter. We're going to repost the race. And he's going to go ahead, Johnny. You can give Brandon the rules.
A couple names up here on this chat that are guys that have recently followed me, and I followed them back. So anybody that's here on this chat, hit me up with that DM in the next week or so, in the next couple days better, and I'll put you guys in for extra chances on the drawing. So anybody that's here today, right now, that's on this chat, hit me up on the DM on Twitter to make sure I have your Twitter handle correct, and we'll put you in for extra chances on the drawing as a little special something because you guys were on here today.
Boom. That's a great idea to give our live listeners a little extra juice. So that's it. So let's get into it. You know, we got our duck races out of the way. We talked some Bears. We've got your Johnny B for 3 in. Now you know how to make some money.
I have hope for you guys. I know you guys are always talking about the offensive line, but us on Monday afternoon football, as I called it, MAF, Monday afternoon football, 4 o'clock last week. We only had 1 starting offensive lineman in for the entire game. And we ran the ball right down the Bills' throat all game. You got to have that heart. Get some guys in there that have heart. And I think that you Bears fans can get maybe that guy from Buffalo that we were talking about. I heard you guys talking about maybe one guy could just change the attitude and just start pushing that line of scrimmage back. We just did it with a bunch of backups. So
Yeah, Quentin Spain. Let's go, Pace. Get him on the team.
Le'Veon Bell, let's go.
So let's go. Let's check out some picks, huh?
Let's.
All right. So there is a new king in town, but it's the same old king. It's me. So
Why do
Johnny made a couple ballsy picks last week that didn't come to fruition. One of them was the Browns that didn't come to fruition.
I wanted to change that one because Odell Beckham was maybe not going to play, but it's all right. I'll catch up.
And then the other was the Cowboys. You took the Cowboys, and they took an absolute beating. So that's the difference right there.
All right.
So we're getting a little feedback. I don't know if you guys are hearing it.
Yes, I am hearing it.
I don't know who's getting it, but it's somebody.
I have zero feedback.
Well, let's see what happens.
All right.
So starting out yesterday, we all went perfect. We picked the Eagles against the Giants. That was a nail biter. Then we got Carolina at the Saints. We got Panthers, Greg and Jake, and we got Saints for Johnny B. Man, that is annoying.
Maybe it's your shared screen. Uh-oh. Now we're getting more noises. Here, let's try it one at a time. I'm going to remove. All right. I'm going to remove Jake. How do we remove? So, Johnny, can you hear? We can't hear anything now. So I think it might. All right. See, I think it might be you, Jacoby, because when I removed you, it wasn't there anymore. Here, I'll remove John. Do you hear? I don't know. That's okay. This is live TV, so we're just making sure we're giving you guys the best audio we possibly can. But hey, Chubbs, yeah, I do got Washington. Washington's gonna win, and we're gonna get to Chubbs' upset picks. Yeah, that's better, Jake. Yeah,
with my mic was all screwed up. So anyway, let's keep going here.
We appreciate your patience in the chat, and Chubbs, we will get to your upset picks because you have been hitting them. So back to where we were. So where were we?
So we got Carolina and Saints. So Greg and I are taking the Panthers. Johnny's taking the Saints. There's Michael Thomas is not playing. It looks like Emmanuel Sanders is not playing because he has COVID now. So they're a little banged up, but we'll see what happens on that one. Bills across the board, Jets, that's a no-brainer. Worst team in football by a long shot. Browns at Bengals. Johnny and I like the Browns. Greg's taking the Bengals in that one. Greg's taking a couple upsets in this one. We got Dallas at Washington, which I don't know if you consider that one an upset with how bad the Cowboys have been. But Johnny and I are both thinking the Cowboys pulled this one out. Greg is taking football team, which I'll never get used to saying. Green Bay at Texans. Johnny and I are taking the Packers. Greg's taking the Texans, probably because that's what he wants to happen.
Yes, that's part of my problem with these pick'ems is I have a hard time. If we went back and looked at each week, how many times I picked the Lions, Vikings, or Packers in any of these weeks has probably maybe 3 at the most.
Right.
I don't like picking them.
Right, last week you picked the Bucks.
Here's how I think it. Here's how I see it. Because I'm also a person like now that I'm starting to see the teams and the season unfold. This is how I don't look at like player matchups as much. Sometimes I do, but what I look at is timing. And the Bucks played the Packers at a great time. They had just lost to the Bears and got their ass kicked, and Brady's pissed off. And so I just had a good feeling that Brady was going to bounce back. Now this week, the Texans, if you go and watch the Texans, they're starting to play better football now that Bill O'Brien is out of town. And last week, they should have won. Who did they play? They came back, and who were they playing? It was a great game.
It was
Tennessee. And Tennessee is undefeated. They're a great team. And Deshaun Watson and the Texans should have won that game. And I was happy they lost. Why? Because that stuff rolls over. Had they won, maybe this week they'd be underlooking the Packers. But now that they lost, they want them. They know they need to play that much better to get the win. So they're going to be dialed up that much more now to play the Packers. So it is a little bit of hoping, but it is also there is some logic to it.
Well,
too.
in that regard, that goes in against the Bears because the Rams did get beat by an undermanned
100%.
49ers team last week.
But we have Khalil Mack, so that's
we have Khalil Mack.
That's
so going forward, yeah. So we got Detroit at Falcons. I'm taking the Lions in this one. Greg and Johnny taking the Falcons. Pittsburgh Titans. I'm taking Titans in this one. Greg and Johnny taking Steelers. So this week's going to be if I make some of these picks wrong, I'm definitely not going to be wearing the crown anymore.
Yeah, and Jake and I both got a game on Johnny last night.
Right.
The Eagles game. So
we all picked Eagles last night.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Dude,
but Greg, you did make some headway last week. You're only down 4 now.
I do think, other than that one throw, Carson Wentz is highly overrated.
Absolutely.
I'll give him that.
So here we go. Chiefs across the board, absolutely no brainer. Chargers across the board against the Jags. Against Niners Patriots, I'm taking the Patriots this one. You two are taking the Niners. I just feel like
I flipped a coin, honestly.
Well, Patriot, like you're saying, Greg, Patriots got pretty much embarrassed last week by an inferior team. So I'm thinking that maybe they put this together. Maybe Cam, another week removed from his COVID diagnosis, is feeling a little bit better. Across the board, Seahawks. And then this one, I took a long time on this one, and I went Rams. Greg and Johnny taking Bears.
The Bears when they're 5-1.
I'm picking against the Bears almost as a reverse psychology thing for part of it.
So
yeah, last time when I picked Tampa to beat the Bears because that was kind of one of their biggest tests of the season. I think this is their second biggest test of the season. So I'm taking the Rams in this one for a little reverse psychology that I hope I'm wrong and they win because that's what happened against the Bucs.
You have some people very upset at you in the
that's
chat
okay.
for this.
That's fine. The other side of the coin is look, a lot of time goes by during the week and you forget of the things that happened during the last game. During an extremely inferior defensive line, our O-line got absolutely manhandled. So I'm very fearful that the O-line is going to get absolutely destroyed this week. Our running game is non-existent. Jalen Ramsey more than likely is going to be able to lock up on A-Rob. So we're going to need Mooney and we're going to need Anthony Miller to actually show out this week. I think Jimmy Graham is going to be a key point of this game. Jimmy Graham or Cole Kmet will be a huge key to this game.
Tight end set. Defense scores at least one touchdown for the Bears.
Yep.
I did feel your reservations, though, with the offensive line getting pushed around by Aaron Donald and the boys. But the Bears defense is clicking at all three levels, as Greg was saying earlier, on the line and in the middle with the back linebackers and then the corners. I'm looking for the Bears. They should have been scoring a couple defensive TDs already, got some BS penalties. I'm expecting the Bears to score defensively, and I think the Bears are going to win that one in a close.
That's who I think. First, that's what I TM JJ. He picked the Bears to lose as well, and so did Cam Ellis when I was listening to them on the Under Center podcast. But I think the Bears are going to win because I'm done picking against the Bears. I picked against them that one time and it didn't work. Then I picked them to win and that didn't work. The one time I had it flip-flopped was the 2 weeks I missed. So far, other than that, I've been picking the Bears correct. I'm taking the Bears to win, and I don't know if the Rams are going to score. That's how I think this is going to go. I think the Bears are going to win like 17-3, 17-3, 17-6, something like that. That's what I see here because Khalil Mack, Akeem Hicks, what we talked about in that first segment. Brandon asked in the chat, would I be surprised if Mack doesn't play? Absolutely, I would be surprised. He's been on the injury report, multiple times this season. I'm always concerned, making sure that he's going to play because we need him. But I feel really good about it. The only thing is it's in LA. I'd feel better if it was a primetime game in Chicago. But I just know this team is ready to be on the primetime stage again. You saw how well they played against Tom Brady in Tampa Bay.
Bears show out on Monday nights.
They show out. They've been very good on Monday nights since 2012 or 2009, one of the two. I think they're like 12-2 or so, 12. So they have a winning record on Monday Night Football in the last 10 years.
I'm taking the Bears as long as there's no injuries. God willing. I'm taking the Bears to beat the Saints next week for sure. So
Okay,
people are saying like the Bears, whatever, they're the worst 5-1 team. But you know what? They beat the Bucs and they beat them up pretty bad. So if you want to be taken seriously, which I think they can be, this is a game you got to win.
They shut you.
Monday Night Football, Khalil Mack, go eat them up. You got to have it.
Yeah.
Part of my concerns about this week.
Seriously, you got to have this one, and I think they're going to be ready.
Part of my concerns this week is I don't think Nagy, as opposed to when we played the Rams in 2018, and what was the score of that one? 17-6 or something?
It was, very low
13-6, I think it was.
Yeah.
Nagy was in a groove that year with his play calling, and this year he is not there yet. He's just not. And last week we were extremely harsh on him, and I don't think he's there yet. I'm afraid of what he's going to do in this game. So it's made me a little bit weird or leery, I guess you should say, to really put it all on him, because I think he gets in his own mind and he calls some ridiculous crap.
They're going to be one-dimensional again because they're not going to be able to run the ball on this team. They'll be lucky to get a few very good runs, and just the way this run game has been going so far, I do not expect them to run the ball with effectiveness. Unfortunately, I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't expect it. So it is going to have to be Nick Foles and short fields and getting some support to it.
That's why
that's
why
going to be who wins the game.
I'm hesitant about this game because the Rams can run the football.
Well, anybody can get those bounces.
Great running back, I think. He's a good running back.
Who gets the turnover? Who gets the pick six? Aaron Donald. Who gets the strip sack? Khalil Mack, Aaron Donald. Who gets the pick six? Jalen Ramsey or Eddie Jackson? That ultimately, I think, is what it's going to come down to. I'm just putting my money on the Bears defense. It's defense versus defense. That's what this game is going to be all about. It's like a
wash. I mean,
it really is.
The defenses are a wash, and then if you're going to give an offensive,
maybe Cordero Patterson breaks one.
If you're going to give a plus to one offense or the other, you're giving it to the Rams. If you're going to give a special teams to one of the teams, you're going to give it to the Bears. So, I mean, granted, because the Rams kicker situation is very iffy right now. I know.
Oh, and that's what we.
Forget the name of their kicker. All right, they brought in Kai Forbath off of our practice squad this week. I think they're still rolling with the kicker that they had last week, but he's missed some kicks for them. So I don't know who's going to start, but it's iffy in the kicking game for them, and hopefully they'll kick it to Patterson, and because he's ready to break one.
And last year, the Bears, it was an ugly game, and Mitch got benched in the fourth quarter. But the Bears lost last year because of the kicker. Eddie Pinheiro missed multiple kicks in that game, and then they didn't kick on fourth down a few times in kickable situations in the early beginnings of that game. And in 2018, they dominated them in a low-scoring game, as you said, Jake. But this year, Cairo Santos has been nailing his kick, so I feel better about the kicking situation.
I do feel good about the
Akeem Hicks is back for this game. It's just going to come down to who gets that early score, who gets that early turnover. Field position will be key. Really excited for it. 5-1 for the Bears. You're kind of playing with house money.
Game. And you know what?
You're playing with house money.
Playing in LA. They're playing in LA, which I wish they were in Soldier Field for this one. But the benefit to that is they don't have fans.
Zero.
So when away teams are in a house with no fans, they seem to be able to play out a little bit differently because the crowd noise is not a factor. And the Bears have come back. In Atlanta, they came back to win that game. They came back in Detroit to win that game with no fans. So I feel
Bears undefeated on the road.
Say that again.
Undefeated on the road, right? Bears are undefeated on the road.
Yes.
Right. So
whoa.
Bears aren't losing this year.
Bears are actually scoring more points per game on the road as well, as opposed.
I'll give you a little preview to what
more points on the road. No,
I'll give you a little preview to. I'm going to submit my pick to Kevin Kadick. Kevin Kadick, damn it, Kevin Kadick on the midway minute for our pick on Monday. I'll give you a little teaser to what I'm going to put because it's going to be short and sweet. You have to, give the score, and then you got to give like a nice little paragraph of what you think is going to happen. But I'm going to be short and sweet this week. I'm going to put 17-6 or 17-3. I don't know if I'm going to get as bold. I'll give them 6. 17-6, and then I'm going to put my description as who can score on the Bears. Nobody. That's who. Because that's just how I feel about them right now. Nobody's scoring on this team. So I don't care what the offense does because we'll get it figured out. And we got Cordero Patterson. He's ready to break one at any time. And that's all the Bears will need.
Offense if it's going to be that sort of game, when they're on the field, they're going to have to control time of possession. So we need them to be doing.
Yeah,
something.
that's the one thing that they won't be able to do if they can't run the ball. So yeah, if it is a low scoring game like that, it is going to be tough for them to, they're going to have to run the ball, or else the defense is going to have to, stop them like 18 times, and that's going to probably be a little too much for them to hold. So
tight end sets, I'm telling you, some 2 tight end sets, get some underneath in the middle. Maybe get a couple wheel routes or some screen passes on there. Maybe it'll open up something a couple times late. Who knows?
Foles is a mad scientist. He's a genius. He doesn't always have the physical trait, but he is a very smart man. I think he can. I think Foles could run this offense better than Nagy.
He just needs to check out and call the plays he want to call. I mean, why doesn't he just check out of it? I mean, let's go.
He says kill, kill, kill a lot. So
kill, kill, kill. Omaha.
He knows
Omaha.
what he's doing.
Nagy suck.
Yeah, and Chris is right. Normally, when there are fans in the stands, there are a ton of Bears fans that travel, and for the Titans game coming up, I have a feeling there will be a bunch of fans at that game traveling for the Bears, and another team. You talk about kill, kill, kill. That's the first thing that Eagles fans are doing when they get in the stands.
Damn, 2 guys beating on the same person.
Eagles fans just can't help themselves. They let them in the games.
The fight song in the back.
I know.
Yeah, they just scored some points.
They just scored some points, and the Eagles fans. I mean, I think they were going after a Ravens fan, but this is why we can't have nice things. They let us back into the games, and then you morons in Philly are out there fighting. I mean, look at this guy. He's done it before, because look at the way he climbed over the seats. That is professional work right there, ladies and gentlemen. And then like you said, Jake,
fan comes in secondary.
and then this other idiot in a 43, like, come on, guy, you're not tough. Unless you're like best friends with that guy, even still, for you, I don't think he needs your help there. But it's just like, oh man, come on, guy.
When they come from the top like that, you have to know that they're coming to beat you for sure, and you just have to grab them by the jersey or the hood and just pull them straight down. You cannot.
Right. You can't give them the high ground.
Yeah,
you cannot. And that is funny you bring that up.
Right there.
High ground is always the best ground when you are in a fight in the stands, and we do not condone fighting in the stands, but that is always to be known that when you are in the stands, high ground wins. And a fan at the Cowboy Stadium got a little That is what we mean here.
And it's over.
This is why you do not go after people in the stands, because, I mean, this guy, do not put, like, this guy could have went flying for a long ways. As somebody said on Twitter, if this was old Comiskey, he'd still be falling because of how steep it gets. I mean, but this is exactly why you don't get in fights in the stands, because you could fall 7 rows down and break your back. And when I saw this video, you can't help but be a little scared for the guy at first.
If you're gonna get in that fight, you walk up the stairs, you go one level ahead of him, and then you look at him.
Yes, do not come right up to him. Look at it; it's like old guy too. I feel like
rookies, just have a
Ryan. It reminded me kind of this when she this is getting that's what it reminded me of, watching that guy fly. So it was but that's of course what's going on in the stands here of the last week. I'm sure there was some positive moments, but of course, you got to have a couple of knuckleheads in the stands fighting. But yeah, exactly. Chubb saying you get pushed on the 4th floor of the 4th, the top tier of Soldier Field,
400 level.
Man, I'll tell you what, that's as steep a climb as you're gonna get.
That's a stadium built inside of a stadium. So yes, it's quite steep.
Stadium built
right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Bears need some new digs. I don't care if it's not Soldier Field.
I agree with that. I'm ready for a new stadium as well. Where the Bears are traveling to SoFi Stadium, and I've heard, it's state of the art. It's like they put like billions of dollars into it, and their fans, they don't even like the home team. The Bears are as diehard of fan bases you're going to have in any city, and we deserve better. That was what I
that
said last year.
Benefits the Rams, I think, not having fans, because I think Chris is right. I think Chicago fans would absolutely mob them because LA fans, they don't
care.
They don't.
Most people from there aren't from there anyway, so they cheer
Right.
for wherever they came from.
And Sandlin is right. He's saying in the chat, and this is something I did notice too in some of the games. Last night's game or whatever last night's game, you had cardboard cutouts in certain seats because I'm assuming those season ticket holders, you can pay for that cardboard cutout to be in your actual seat, and then you've got real people sitting right next to a cardboard cutout. And I was saying that last time, I'm like, how surreal is that? Like, so what if, like 1 year ago, if I would have told you that that's what would be going on, that'd be like normalcy. You'd be like Johnny over there, you'd be shaking your head. It's just absolutely unbelievable. And there has been a little bit of word on the street that the Bears might get to a place where they let fans back in the stadium. You're seeing the 49ers and the Saints just announced this week that they're going to let fans back in. So you're seeing teams make the attempt now that other teams are getting away with it and coming up with the proper protocol, so to speak. But then you have fans like the Eagles and Cowboys.
The colder it gets, the less likely that any.
That's why I'm just like holding my breath. 2 weeks from Sunday is the Bears-Titans game, and I got a ticket to it, and I'm just holding my breath. I don't want to jinx it, so I try not to talk about it too much, but that's all I can really think about is going to the game and just enjoying one game. And
just don't
that's all
no,
of course not.
Be happy to be there.
My days of getting all rowdy and rambunctious with someone are long gone. I love to keep things jovial. There was a time where I used to be a much different fan. The one you see on Twitter, this Greggy Sunshine, always nice. I've kind of adapted into that because life's short. It's time to smile. Like Johnny was saying earlier, it's just about, being positive every day. There's no reason to fight over sports. We can have our rivalries. We can talk crap, but we can also keep it respectful. And that's what I try to do nowadays. I've spent too many years being a little disrespectful, a little punk. So I figured I'd make up for it by keeping some balance here in my older years, maybe trying to set an example for
maturity before our
well, I got to set an example for my young daughter who sounds like she's starting to go to sleep here. So we're moving right along, and you will, Johnny B, you will get your final words as you always do, but it's totally up to you. If you want to go, if you got stuff to do, you can go, but I was going to wrap it up here with Top Shots, and I've got some fun stuff here, and I wanted Jake's reaction, but I also love to have your reaction too, Johnny, because we had some fun stuff. Man. So we're in Top Shots now. We've shown some fights. I wanted to highlight those and give you some tips. Always stay on the high ground, as they say in Star Wars. But Cordero Patterson had a little fun contest go across. Excuse me. Had a fun contest go across Twitter. We had our own contest with Tariq Cohen, the Brags and the Stands touchdown dance that fell just short because our guy Tariq, is going to heal up for next year, and our guy Tyler Lux is going to have to wait for his signature Brags and the Stands touchdown dance. But Cordero Patterson had a great idea for a little Twitter, what show me your video.
Show your damn bear videos. I know
how to, of course. And Cordero Patterson. So this is basically how it started because he's been doing this thing where he runs off the field and he says, "Here, I'll just."
Sir, yes, sir.
Okay, so he's saying, "How about them Bears?" Which is, an homage to. How about them Cowboys? Jerry Johnson from the Cowboys back in the 90s. And now we're the Bears.
Jerry Jones.
And so he asked Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones? No, it's Jerry Johnson.
Jerry Johnson.
The coach. Jimmy Johnson, the coach. I'm sorry. How about them Cowboys? So now,
Jerry
how about
Johnson,
them Bears?
Jerry Johnson,
as Cordero. Yeah, they're like one mega person.
And
so Cordero Patterson asked his fans to submit their best videos of their How About Them Bears, and these were some of the best ones, and they were too funny not to share here on Top Shots and Braves and Stands. They are hilarious. I wish we would have came up with this ourselves because some of these videos are hilarious, and I have to share them with both of you. I want your reactions from them.
How about the Bears?
That one was good. He like got.
Was he wearing like Okoye's pads from 1990? One of those pads, man. Holy cow!
But then I love how he got the because Cordero's got kind of that funny face, and then the way he does the laugh.
How about the Bears?
Yeah, he's imitating him.
He said, I read through some of his comments. He said it took him about 20 takes to hit that. So that was probably my favorite one.
Takes.
That was 20 takes. Johnny says what sativa, and he's just naming sweeteners off top of his head.
He's a natural. That's not even fair. He's a natural.
You can keep your sugar. You can keep your stevia. I'm taking sweetness.
It's a sativa. That's a totally different thing.
So we have another guy here. This dude was hilarious. He was less clever, but still didn't take away from how funny it was.
How about them Bears? 5-1, baby.
That one is my favorite.
Was that serious?
Jenny was I was showing Jenny these last night. She was cringing. That one was my favorite. I don't know why.
I like that one better than the first one. I
just love how shameless. I'm a shameless person. I'm very comfortable in my own skin, and I just love some of these people that felt like they could put this out there.
How about them Bears?
What's that?
I said we know you're shameless. We'll see that in a minute.
Very shameless. I love this guy because he was the closest to Jimmy Johnson, and I think maybe he was a coach of Cordero's. I kind of was looking at his Twitter bio, and Cordero responded to him, so I think maybe this guy was his coach, but I'm not 100% sure. But this guy was the closest to Jimmy Johnson.
How about them Bears?
I'm saving this clip because it sounds he like nails it. How about them Bears? Don't you guys think? Well,
how about them Bears?
You're gonna save that? So you're gonna play an old man saying, "How about them Bears?" randomly.
The post game show. That's gonna be our draft.
How about them Bears?
All right. You gotta give the guy some props. Then is he on Twitter? You gotta call him out.
I'll find out his name. I'm sorry, Chubbs. The cringeworthy makes it funny. That's what I like about it. I'm a Conan O'Brien fan, so you got to appreciate the cringe. You don't detract from the cringe. So I appreciate.
How about them Bears?
That guy's at work.
Kind of looks like Dak Prescott.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that to him as well. He definitely looks like.
How about them Bears?
Maybe Dak.
I want more. Like,
maybe Dak.
Stupid bear thing, but at least it was like ridiculous. Like
maybe
I want more.
Maybe Dak's a bear next year. You never know. He can do his own. So here's this guy. You want more? Here's this.
How about them Bears?
I love that hat, but I don't.
That hat. That's why
I don't want a fitted. I don't want a snap hat. I want fitted hats always. So that's a big bummer.
The snap.
I like snap hats.
I don't hate snap hats, so I would.
If you wear it backwards, you don't want a snap hat.
No,
I like the backwards snap hat look. It's kind of like
you can pull it off. You can pull off anything, Greg.
Thank you.
You can pull it off.
It's got that old. That old 90s white men can't jump look, See, finally we get Chubb said that last one was good. So we get Chubb.
Dak Prescott was good.
No, I think the guy with the hat. The hat is fire. I want that hat. I'm gonna be ordering that hat too.
You can get it.
Because I've been wearing this hat's been glued to my head for like 4 years now. It's time I put on a different hat. But I do enjoy that one of my teams finally won a championship. So here's one that he tried to imitate Cordero a little more toe to toe here.
How about them Bears?
I love that one. Don't you love the giggle and the high step at the end? That's what I like most.
How about them Bears?
You don't like it? Oh
it's
my
all right.
God,
I mean, it doesn't get me excited.
You're a tough critic.
I am a
These
tough
are
critic.
Great.
Johnny's not laughing either, though, so I don't feel as bad.
No, I thought that didn't do it for me. It's a no.
What about you? Have one more. What's the guy in the Khalil Mack jersey? What's he doing?
You guys are tough critics, man. This is tough.
How about them? How about them Bears? How about them Bears? How about them Bears?
I don't want to see that ever again. I want some more creativity here. You know?
He's funny. Is he singing, or is he singing before he does it, or is he practicing? And then I love how he grabs the phone as he.
How about them Bears? How about them? How about them Bears? How about them Bears? How about them Bears?
I think that's like 5 takes, and they just kept them all in this single video.
True story. Duck race number 1, Braggs in the stands, 1 take. Duck race number 2, Braggs in the stands, 1 take.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know what these guys are doing with these takes. If it's 20 takes, retire.
You know what it is? It's confidence. Johnny's confidence is absolutely sky high. So when he comes up to the plate and he's delivering on these calls, he knows
you're an unfair comparison, Johnny, because you're a natural at this. And
Johnny's
some of these
professionalism
guys
has ruined everything for me now. So
Well,
I
some of these
expect
guys,
Johnny to
you
be
know,
professionalism.
It took a long time this week until Friday, but I appreciate that. I'm gonna
Yeah, I need it. If I'm going to see videos, I need Johnny B level professionalism. Or I'm not interested.
Sandlin didn't like the last one. You guys are tough critics. It's yeah, I agree. First take is where you get the authenticity, but I've had tough times doing takes for different projects. I
hope your bear that you did was not multiple takes.
All right, so no, that was 1 take. That was 1 take. So I had to search for a bear filter on Snapchat because there used to be one that was more grizzly bear. And so now you can search for Snapchat filters. And so, of course, I had to add my addition. And I was seeing, like Jake said, everybody was kind of doing the same thing. So I was trying to be creative. So this was my submission to the contest.
How about them balls?
It is Halloween time.
I know. The funny thing about that one is I know that laugh. He does that all the time in his normal voice. So,
and if you are a Snapchat follower of mine, and this is an exclusive club, you get.
How about them balls?
And that's what I like to bring smiles to people's faces. That's what my Snapchat is for. And
teddy bear instead of grizzly bear.
Well, there was no other option. That was the best option I had.
Yeah, teddy bear with a fez on, of all things.
Yeah, so that was my option. So that I should have screenshotted the DM. Somebody put on or not DM, the tweet. Somebody tweeted me and goes, "Yo, that was mad creepy, my guy. But Bears are 5-1, bear down." So I thought that was funny, and that was my submission. I didn't win. I didn't really want to win. What my goal was.
Somebody won. They won gloves, right, or something like that.
6 people won signed gloves from Cordero Patterson. So we're talking about extending AR. I think we need to start extending Cordero because this guy is not only a great contributor to the team, which is most important, obviously, on the field contributions, but just the way he interacts with the fans. You know, I had a great video. I should have maybe pulled it up, but in the chat, Chris Sandlin, who, has got some kind words for me. We were at a game last year, and Cordero Patterson would play catch with the fans pregame. And I have a great video where he throws the ball right to Chris, and Chris throws it back to him. And he'll do that with every home game. And he's got these fun little contests he does on Twitter while fans are at home. And that kind of stuff is appreciated. So, and then he's the best kick returner in football. He, has great contribution on offense. He's trying to recruit. I just love what
about Quentin Spain that I hope the Bears pick him up. But he did reach out to Quentin Spain. The only that Quentin Spain has associated with any football team right now is the Chicago Bears and Cordero Patterson. So maybe he will.
You know, Holmes followed Le'Veon Bell, and Chris Jones worked out with Le'Veon Bell in the offseason.
Exactly.
It's going to happen on Sunday.
If there's one thing the Bears absolutely need, it's a little O-line help. So I would hope that they'll give this guy a shot because, yikes.
Absolutely.
You need somebody.
Well, you wake up in the morning.
Jake said I will not play this on the show tonight, so I had to put a little clip in there. I didn't mean to cut you off, Jake. I was trying to time it.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. I was trying to time it when you were done with your statement.
No respect
and I was
for me.
going to surprise you with my video because that was what I graced Twitter with this morning.
Well, I already knew it was there. I could see all the things.
Yeah, well, you're not allowed to peek at Top Shots, okay?
Well, I'm working on. I have to put stuff up here, so
don't peek. Don't look. I need to. How do I turn?
I know you did 2 bear videos, so I saw 2 bear videos. I put 2 and 2 together.
I don't like that you peek. It pisses me off. And this was my music because
You wake up in the morning. You hear the work bell ring. And you're marching to the table. You see the same old thing. Ain't no food up on the table. But a fork up in your hand. But you better not complain, boy. You get in trouble with the man. Let the midnight special shine the light on.
All right, I'm killing this thing. We cannot listen to that shit for 30 seconds.
It was, but it felt like 15 minutes.
It's an eternity.
I was wondering how long you were going to let it play. I was just going to keep letting it play.
Well, I was going to give you the benefit. I didn't watch the whole video. I had to watch. It was like 2 seconds of it. And I said, I don't want to watch this.
Was that a Clearwater song you're proclaiming?
Yeah, he was.
Midnight
The lyrics
Special.
were
You
way
don't like-
off. Way
You
off.
don't like Midnight Special? How are the lyrics off? Everybody's saying the lyrics are off.
At the beginning, the lyrics were off.
They are not.
A little
They
bit.
are not. They are not. You hear
Well,
the
I
work bell ring. You march to the table. You see the same old thing. Ain't no food up on the table, but a fork up in your hand.
You just said table
told him.
twice.
We have to go back and look because I was getting called out.
I'm
on
not going back.
Twitter.
I'm not going back.
No,
So,
not in the
what?
video. I'm going to have to do some research on this because
Oh.
you guys were talking about your favorite bands, and Jake was, telling the chat they were having a nice conversation about their favorite bands. My favorite band is Creedence Clearwater. I know Chubbs was also a big critic of mine. He was very scared when I put, hey, you know what? I'm just being me. This is who I am. I like to have
weird.
fun.
I don't want to see.
Yeah,
like it's-
that felt like 15 minutes and 37
I
seconds.
killed it. I had to kill it.
Hey,
yeah, it's the teeth thing. The teeth, and then the high pitched whine. It's just weird. I don't want to watch it. I don't like it.
That's what and it's one of those things that you hate it and then you'll eventually love it. Like in Snapchat. Well, just bear with me. One day you will, because if you follow me on Snapchat, then when I do this each week, you'll get one, and slowly you start to look forward to them. And if you don't get one, you get upset. So like the laughing one.
Are you just? Has someone told you this, or are you just saying?
I know it. I know it to be true in my heart because some of them are
no one
so
has ever
funny. Like,
said that's true.
the laughing one, you cannot tell me is not funny as.
How about them bears?
Like how the bear head shakes.
You know, when you play the videos, no one can hear you talking, right? Because I still see your mouth moving when you play a video.
Oh, really? I thought
yeah, you're muted. You're muted.
Yeah.
That's why I told you, Greg, when you drop a video, do it after you're done talking because your voice cuts out.
I thought you could talk over certain videos. There's some videos
Not with
you can
audio.
talk over.
You can't
Okay.
do it with audio. If that's why we have the two videos that have one with audio, one without.
Well,
So, just so you know. Just so you know.
I thought, okay. Well, that's okay.
Because you were talking a lot during
here.
the song, and I was like, yeah, we can't. I can't.
Well,
hear
look
you.
who's come in because she has to come in to make her Brags in the Stands debut before we wrap up here. And say hi, Addie, because you're supposed to be in bed. Say hello.
Hi.
Say hi, Jake. And say hi, Johnny.
What's up, girl?
Say hi, Johnny.
Hi.
All right, say bear down. Okay, now go to bed. Go get mommy. Go on. All right, so that was my Addison Grace. Glad she could stop.
I'm glad she stopped in and just kind of broke up.
She broke up all that stuff. So
bear thing.
before
Yeah,
we
that
go,
was
I
good.
got one more Brags in the Stands thing to show everybody because see, we got a little hi Addie from Chris. So hey Addie, Chris says hi. So I wanted to share this with everybody because yesterday on this day, or 4 years ago on not yesterday, 4 years ago on this day was a very special day for Greg. 4 years ago yesterday, actually, when I made these clips. So I thought I'd share them along. And we won't get sniped because this is actually my footage inside Wrigley Field, Game 6 of the NLCS, when the Cubs clinched the pennant and broke the curse. So that was it in all its glory. Probably had to share that one along because, talk about Brags in the Stands. Probably the greatest game I've ever attended. Game 6 of the NLCS. The Cubs played the Dodgers and Clayton Kershaw,
to go to.
one of the greatest pitchers of all time. And
The
the
crowd
Cubs
was huge and just heckling him to ruin.
Yeah,
that game.
and people, a lot of fans don't realize that aren't Cub fans that the curse wasn't to win the World Series. The curse was to get to the World Series. So that game, winning the pennant, beating the Dodgers. The Dodgers are in the World Series right now. My guy Shane, biting his fingernails. I know that they either play tonight or tomorrow night for Game 3, and to be able to be at that game, the Cubs won in convincing fashion. Actually, 27 up and 27 down in that game. They had a few walks and a hit and then a couple double plays that resulted in, it wasn't a no hit or anything, but 27 up, 27 down. Hendricks pitched an amazing game, and it was electric that night. And to watch my team dominate in a pivotal moment, normally it's the way they won the World Series in Game 7, by some dream and miracle and all this craziness happening, and to be at Wrigley Field that night with my mom and to witness history and for them to win convincingly where we could all just enjoy it. And it was kind of like a party all night, was just something I'll never forget. And I didn't leave the stadium until they made me. I was literally one of the last fans to leave Wrigley Field that night. And I ran into this guy. I'll never know who he is, but we were over by the Bartman seat, because Game 6 of the NLCS was where that moment, lives in infamy for all Cub fans. So we went over and kind of exercised some demons. So if you're out there, guy, I want to. The infamous Game 6 seat.
Can you believe it?
Me and this guy. We're going to put it to rest.
Done tonight. It's over.
4 more. Let's. So you see, I was losing my voice. It was getting past midnight, and me and that guy were
misconnection. You're trying to find this man.
Yes, I would love to find that dude and buy him a Jack and Coke, because we ended up winning the World Series, and it was just special to be there that night. And I had a really funny moment that every Friday night you see in our intro, a little clip of it, and it was a classic Brags moment with one Pat Tomasulo from WGN, and I want to share this along here on Brags in the Stands.
For this. Good for him. Now we doing over here. Look at this. How about this? The sign had to take at least 8 minutes to make. Look at that thing. I can't color. I can do it. How many coloring contests did you win as a youngster?
7. I can't keep count anymore. I'm perfection personified.
Yeah.
And how about this night, man?
Do you believe in magic? That is.
Shimmy in the sea. It was hard. I got a little carried away.
You did a fantastic job. If I had a gold star, I would give you one. I would give you a gold star.
How about this night? What a night.
What a night.
What a beautiful night.
Yeah.
Couldn't ask for a better night at Wrigley Field. Really couldn't. Beautiful first night. Gotta get close. We're family. We're family.
High five it again.
I think Bill Murray has a good sidekick right here.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill
I'm
Murray.
never surprised.
Anytime.
Whenever Greg's at something, he always finds his way on TV or with somebody. So when I see this stuff anymore, it doesn't even surprise me because he just always puts himself in some position to be on TV or to be with somebody or whatever. He's like a magnet to whatever. So
well, it's funny you guys say that because at the Super Bowl, we got there super early and we went in and we were actually on the pregame and the postgame on TV. Really? A lot of my clients and stuff, I didn't even know. I mean, we were there obviously, but they just started like blowing up and sending me these videos. So it's kind of fun. Obviously what Greg had going on there with the, the hug and all that, that was the best. Obviously.
I was giving him a good old Brags in the Brags, little arm bar, little love action. I'm always I'm a hugger.
Yeah,
I'm a hugger.
Really to appreciate, looking back now here where we are in 2020 with the way it is with talking with no fans, just, how good it was with sports. And then we got it taken away. And, we definitely got to get back to that. We got to get back to, Greg hugging, sportscasters and commentators, after big wins and all these moments that we all live for with our fandom, whether it be the Cubs or the Bears or the Chiefs or the Blackhawks or whatever team you follow. And we got to get it right because the fans are what makes it. And that's good to see that video, man. It makes me miss last year. It makes me miss all the games that I've gone to over the years.
Johnny, where do your other sports allegiances lie?
Chicago White Sox. Chicago White Sox. And actually, we had a guy, my dad's uncle, who I'm named after, pitched on the Sox briefly. Late 1950s. We have a family brick at I call it Comiskey Park. It'll always be Comiskey Park. We have a family brick over there. My grandfather and his brother, the guy who eventually was on the Sox, they used to climb on the roof of old Comiskey Park when they were kids. They came from Croatia, and they would climb on the roof. And they would get buckets with rope, 5-gallon buckets, and fill up the buckets with baseballs.
Oh, yeah.
They would use them to practice, and they would sell them, because times were tough. But that just tells you where you're at as far as, like security and stuff like that nowadays.
Right.
I'm
that ain't happening.
Chiefs all day, obviously, since 1988. That's when I became a Chiefs fan. White Sox, Blackhawks. College, I really don't have any allegiances to college. I went and did my thing, so I didn't go to any the big colleges. I didn't go to college. I was out doing my thing. So I don't really have any allegiances, although I did go to a lot of games when I was young. When my sister was at U of I, when Jeff George was the quarterback, that was kind of fun.
Nice.
And that's probably it. Blackhawks.
Not a basketball guy?
Yeah, I played basketball at a high level when I was young. I was a big Bulls fan in the 90s. I've kind of lost the flair for NBA lately just with the the flopping and the lack of defense a lot. You got a couple guys that play good defense. But I've kind of lost the love for it over the last 4 or 5 years. But I was definitely a 90s guy. I'm a 90s guy myself.
You'll get back into it if the Bulls can find a way.
Yeah. I mean, I go to games all the time. Like I try to go to a couple Bulls games a year. I have some clients that will throw me some nice tickets down low. And I did go see the Greek Freak play this year just before COVID hit. I went up there to Milwaukee. And we got to see
the Bulls can get him.
to see the Greek Freak. So that was
maybe the Bulls can get him. That'd be nice. Huh?
So yeah, I just got to rekindle my passion for it. I just think it's the flopping for me, to be honest.
Well, your passion is with the Chiefs.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
that's why
for me,
you've got that.
It's easy.
Yeah, I'm a Bears guy.
It's always been that
You're
way
a Bear.
since I was a kid. If I could
I'm
pick
lukewarm everywhere else.
yeah,
pretty much.
one sport to watch forever only, it would be football.
This was Johnny B's moment in the sun down in the Hard Rock Stadium, seeing the Super Bowl. This was my moment to be able to witness the Cubs clinch the pennant at home in front of all those 42,000 fans. Truly amazing moment. And then Jake's amazing moment is to hang out with me every day of his life and go to Bears games and watch double doinks. Unfortunately, one day we will get Jake a pinnacle game, although we did go to a playoff game many years back and actually saw the Bears win.
It's the Bears-Seahawks playoff game in
we actually saw the Bears win a playoff
maybe.
To see the Bears win a playoff game is no easy task. In the last, how many times at home have the Bears won a playoff game in the last 25 years, in our lifetime for that matter? I made this our new header, Jake, for Brags of the Stands on the Twitter account. I like this one. We had the other one, but Nick was in there with his Eagles stuff. So I had to get him out of there. I love you, Nick, but got to get the Eagles stuff out of there. It was either that picture or this picture, but I don't know. I don't like this picture as much. Kevin's in the middle. I think that's why I don't like it. What do you think? Kevin's got a goofy smile in that picture. He's always got a goofy smile.
I like the first one better. It looks like a little bit better lighting.
Yeah, a little better lighting. I got the glasses, kind of like a Blues Brothers action going. Like I said, Kevin's more.
Baby, let's go.
I could have photoshopped Kevin out of this picture, but that's okay. I didn't. I decided to.
We like to see Kevin. That's okay.
Yeah, we like Kevin. Chubbs, he's got the Bears, Cubs, and Blackhawks in that order as far as his rooting interests. I'm not a hockey guy. I'm Bears, Cubs, Bulls.
You watched hockey.
Long. No, I did not.
Yes, you did. We watched the games together, so don't act.
Watch them, but I'm more of a Blackhawk hater. I like
when we watched the series against the Red Wings when it went to 7 games. You were very excited.
Well, I'm sure I was drinking.
Brett Seabrook.
I'm sure I was drinking heavily. But that being said, we're about wrapped up here tonight.
Yes.
We've had a fun show. Make sure you get over to our Brags in the Stands Teespring shop. Jake's done some hard work over there, coming up with some cool ideas. You can get your Foles Royce shirt or hoodie right there. You got all sorts of options. Cash Mooney, Darnell Mooney's going to be going off here on Monday night. You can get your Cash Mooney shirt. These are all designs made by our guy Jake here at Brags in the Stands. He's very talented. That's right.
That one took the longest.
We still want. Yeah, this one took the longest.
One with the letters took the longest.
No, he's joking. He's joking.
And we made this one.
Yes, we got the Brags in the logo. Jake's got the shirt up, and you see other people have already purchased theirs and their mugs, and we appreciate everyone chipping in and showing their support to Brags in the Stands. And you can get your comfy shirt or hoodie at Teespring. There, you see the
maybe I'll look into doing a discount sort of promotion or something. I was looking into that, so maybe we'll throw up a promotion this weekend just to get, I don't know what percentage. You get some money off, you get a shirt. Everyone has a good time.
Okay, I like it. Yeah. I like it. No, that sounds good. Yes,
I got absolutely. Johnny some shirts. Johnny's got to get a Brags and Stand shirt.
Yeah, we'll get Johnny a shirt.
Ideas.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. We got to make a Johnny B for 3 shirt, probably.
Johnny B for 3. Get your Brags in the Stands hoodie. There was somebody on Twitter earlier today saying they didn't understand why people had apparel, but we like our apparel here. So, but no, different strokes for different folks. We're just having fun, but this is Brags in the Stands. We're wrapping up for the night. We wanted to give Johnny B the spotlight, debuting his duck race episode, first one of Brags in the Stands. So before I give my final shout outs, I want to give the floor to Johnny B. This was his night. The spotlight was all his, and he normally wraps up his Johnny B for 3 segment with some words of advice and words of wisdom, as he always puts them so
Ears
eloquently.
are working right now, so we can think of what to say.
Here is Johnny B and his thoughts to wrap up.
All right, just to remind everybody, I'm going to throw that race on Twitter tomorrow morning. That first Bear Down Legends duck race. Follow me, follow Greg Brags in the Stands, and Chris, the artist, and then retweet that race. You'll have a week pretty much to enter the contest, and we'll give away the 2 Jumpman threads. If you are on this chat now, hit me up with a DM. Make sure I have your Twitter handle, and we'll put a couple extra entries into the bucket for you, and we'll get that going. I'll do my game day pick of the week Sunday morning, as always. I might even throw a prop bet in there. If you're talking about it, I kind of was going to do that anyway, even before Greg and I talked about it. And just remember one thing: money won is far sweeter than money earned. Johnny B out.
Yeah, our guy Johnny B, always bringing it, giving you money, helping you earn money from your couch. Now he's coming up with duck races to keep you, entertained. He's bringing the live shots from the stands. He does it all, ladies and gentlemen, and that's why he's our guy here at Brags and Stands. Shout out to Johnny B, our
Johnny.
Guest of honor tonight. He's not just a segment; he was our guest of honor. I don't know how to put it, but either way, spotlight on Johnny B, our guy. So Friday night special, Brags in the Stands, and the music has ended. But that was Johnny B's fault, not my fault this time. So
we'll fade you out. We'll get you some different music.
Give me some different music. That was the Johnny.
Well, what's your prediction, Greg? What's your game prediction?
Oh, well, like I said, I'm going to enter for Kevin Kadick into the midway minute. I think I'm going to put 17-6 Bears. You saw it there on the pick'ems. Okay. What is your final score prediction? I should have went second since you're picking them to lose.
I'm picking 17-13 Rams, but I'm also it's part of a reverse psychology trick. So I'm hoping that
that's what you're doing. You're hedging.
Up in my face.
You're hedging.
Yes.
See,
I'm not hedging my picks. I don't care about that. I just hope it's the Tampa thing, right? I picked Tampa and they proved me wrong. That whole game, I had a totally different approach to that game. I actually just wore a regular shirt. I didn't wear a jersey. I just sat on the couch and I just watched the game, and I didn't get too animated until the end. And so maybe that's my approach this week. Maybe I'll just do all the same things, see if it works.
That absolutely is a good plan. And, I just think that the Bears are going to be too tough to score on. That's my personal opinion. I hope that's what happens. Maybe I'm trying to speak it into existence, but if
the Bears lose, I feel like when we're post-gaming, we're yelling at Matt Nagy because that's what I'm thinking.
So that's the other question is, we're leaving it here Friday night. It's Brags in the Stands, and we'll be back next Friday as we always are here at Brags in the Stands. But we, kind of play it by ear when it comes to whether we go live pregame or postgame. Last week we were able to go live with some guys that were live in the stadium. Shout out to Doug and James for coming on and giving us the in-stadium perspective. And we're looking forward to giving my own in-stadium perspective here in a couple of weeks. But we'll see what happens Monday. It's a work day. Tuesday is a work morning. So, we may come on pregame. We may come on postgame. I'll talk to Jake about that here as the next couple of days go forward. So stay tuned.
We could pull up 30 minutes post or something.
Yeah, so I like the attitude.
We'll do it.
All right. Sounds good. Whatever's clever. It's been a tough week for me. I've been working hard. Johnny was giving me crap, but I had a lot of cuts to make at work. So I'm finally hitting it. Is the music on now?
It's just about to start it. Are we
wrapping up? Like it. You are wrapping up. I like it. This is my own little jazz music. And this entire Brags in the Stands episode is brought to you by Fanbags Cornhole, Chicago's official supplier of professional cornhole boards and bags. Choose from any of their officially licensed designs or have my boy Brian design a custom set using anything from a selfie to your company's logo. Visit www.fanbagscornhole.com and use the promo code BRAGS to get 10% off your entire order. That's www.fanbagscornhole.com and use the promo code BRAGS for 10% off. Step up your game with Fanbags Cornhole. That's what I'm talking about, baby. I nailed that. That's one take. Johnny B.
You always say cornhole.
Cornhole.
That's
You
it.
know, it's like it's in the game. EA Sports. It's in the game. We need to get that guy on. I've seen that guy. We need to get him on one day.
I
But
think there's a video of him actually.
yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen it. It's
Yeah.
amazing. I want him on just so he can say that on here, so we can have that as a clip because it's an amazing talent. But for another time. But today, this is Brags in the Stands. Want to thank Johnny B once again for all his hard work and debuting the duck race. Make sure you follow along on us Twitter and his YouTube channel for more duck races and the announcement on how you can win and retweet for the giveaway for the Jordan picture. And thank you to all our live listeners and viewers for hanging out in the chat. Chubbs82, as per usual. Chris Sandlin. You know, all you guys are appreciated and wouldn't be a good show without you interacting. Brandon, you guys are huge fans, and we are always going to shout you out. Can't thank you enough for always showing your support to Brags in the Stands. We'll be back. Like I said, Monday night, we'll probably pop in and say hi at some point, and we'll be back next Friday night, as we always are. Have some special guests, some hopefully talking about a 6-1 Bears team, but we shall see, my friend. So that'll do it. For Jake, I'm Greg. G Brags, as they call them. The Bears are 5-1, looking to go 6-1. That wraps things up for tonight. We'll catch you next week. Bear down, ladies and gentlemen.